Okay, hi everybody. We're gonna go over how to set up a basic magazine cover in Photoshop. So those of you that are drawing magazine will have it as a guide, and everybody else will get some practice in Photoshop, and we'll all get some practice with the anatomy of the magazine, which you see in front of you. Okay, this is from the internet, but this is the basis that we will be going for. Our magazine will have all these things on the front, starting with the main image, the lead article, the website link, price, barcode, the supporting covers, the masthead, which is the name of the magazine, the type of magazine, and the issue and date line. Okay, so to do this, we're gonna get a new document started in Photoshop. So we're gonna go to Finder, Applications, the Adobe Creative Cloud red folder, and then the rainbow one, Adobe Creative Cloud. Now it's very important when you log into your Adobe account that you do not click on any of these down here. You do have to type in your school email. So yours is going to be studentnumber@stu.palmbeachschools.org. Okay, and you're gonna hit continue. Again, never ever ever click on these. For whatever reason, it messes your account up, and sometimes it doesn't give you the free account. So hit continue, and then you're gonna select this is a company or school account, and then it's gonna prompt you to log into your school district portal. Tiki, sit down. Okay, now when you get here, you're gonna select choice and career. You're not the district admin, so you're gonna do this one. And then it's going to bring you into your Adobe account where you can then click on the left-hand side here and where it says apps, and you see all the applications that you have access to. When it pops up, okay, it should say, you should get this screen. If you have any larger screen over it, you can X out of it. So you're gonna wanna select the blue new file button, and then we're gonna start a new custom project. So over here, we're gonna put magazine practice. We're gonna make sure that we're in inches, and our width is going to be 8.5 and our height is going to be 11. This is a standard size for a magazine or a sheet of copy paper, and we want our resolution to be 300 pixels per inch and our background contents white. And then go ahead and hit create in this bottom right corner. Okay, so your project should look like this. I'm just going to resize this a little bit more so you can see it. Okay, and now just to get us started a little bit, over here, this is called our layer panel. Right now we have a background layer. Over here, this is our toolbar area, and up top here, this is our options bar. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna find our paint bucket tool. Now yours might show the gradient tool, and the paint bucket may be hiding underneath of that. So any of these tools that have the little triangle in the bottom corner, they all have tools hiding underneath of them. If you're ever unsure of the name of a tool, you can just hover your mouse over top of it. It will pop up, tell you what the name of the tool is and a little bit about what it does. So your paint bucket tool is hiding underneath the gradient tool, so we're going to select that. And then we're going to come down to our foreground and our background color, which is the black and white boxes. And we're going to click in the black box, which is our foreground color, and go ahead and pick the color that you want for your background color. I'm going to do like a gray. And then you're just going to dump it in there. So now we have our background layer and we have our background color. Okay, so now we've downloaded our image. We're going to go File, Open. And we're going to go to our downloads, and we're going to select our image that we're going to use. I think I was using this one, so I'm going to do open. And and this is Courtney. So she's going to open into a separate tab. So we have a tab here with Courtney, and then this one is our backdrop. So now what we're going to do is we're going to count down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to select our object selection tool, and we're going to draw a box around her. So it's going to survey the area, and it's going to try, and it's kind of like AI, it's going to do the selection for us for the most part. Now that did a pretty good job. I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit right here where her glasses are. So I'm going to switch to the quick selection tool just to add that little bit in. So if any of you are struggling with the selecting at this point, you can get help. But after you have a good selection, so what we're going to do then is we are going to copy and paste it into our background. So we're going to go edit menu, copy, switch to our background, and we're going to do edit, paste. Okay. Now, once it pastes, you might need to change the size. So to do that, you're going to go edit, free transform, and it's going to give us our bounding box. So at this point, we can hold down shift and drag a corner to shrink our image. I think I'm going to put it down a little bit here. So I'll leave some space for the text at the top. And when you have it pretty much how you want it, you're going to hit the check mark at the top. So now we have our model layer and our background layer. You can rename a layer by just double clicking on the name of the layer, and then you can type into it. I'm just going to call that my model layer. Okay, so that's pretty good so far. Now I do want to show you a couple of things which you might want to know how to do. Drop shadows are nice for your magazine cover, and so I'm going to add like a little shadow, a little drop shadow on Courtney here. So I'm going to go to my little FX and choose drop shadow. Now I'm going to grab this window and kind of move it so I can see, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's just some you can see that shadow behind Courtney. So if you grab the center, see, there it is, you can see it more. I'm just going to do a little bit, give her a little, and then I'm going to spread it out so it's, well, there we go. It's just kind of subtle there. So you can play around with the distance, spread, size, and the angle of it. It just gives her a little bit more dimension and makes your subject looks like they're popping off the page. So you don't want it too dramatic, kind of subtle. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our text. So I'm just going to pull up our example image just so we can take a look at it next door. Okay, so we've got, here's our example. We're working more with a 3/4 body shot, which is okay, and some of you might be working with a close-up or a headshot, so that's okay too. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of plan out here, think of what my magazine's going to be called, and I'm going to work on my masthead first. So I'm just going to call this magazine Style, just to simplify everything. And now if you want to, I want to teach you guys this too. You can grab your eyedropper tool and you can actually sample a color. Like if I want to sample a color from her glasses or her shirt, it will put that color right here in the foreground color if you wanted to kind of keep a same color scheme happening. I'm going to try that and see what it looks like. So I'm going to try with the yellow and see if I like that or not. Now I'm going to switch to my horizontal type tool, which is the T in my tool panel. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just click. Anytime I click with my type tool, it's going to create a new layer. And I'm going to type in caps Style. And that's really too small right now, and it's not the font that I want to use. So I'm going to highlight my title, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up all my font choices. And I'm going to choose something, I'm going to try a couple of them. I'm looking for something more, let's see. Oh, I like that one. Okay, let me see. Is there a bold option? Okay, that's pretty good. Now I can either change my size here, or the way I really like to do it is if you come up in your options bar and you take your mouse and you hover over top this big T and this little t, you will turn into, you can see like a little hand, and you can scrub back and forth over top of this to change your size. So I'm gonna do that. And then when you have it the size you want, you're gonna hit the check mark at the top. Okay, now this first tool right here is our move tool. So I'm gonna grab a hold of our move tool and I'm gonna kind of play around with it. I like that pretty much. It's showing me that it's centered. Why is it centered? There, it's centered. Okay. I want to play around, and I want to kind of stretch out the height of the text. So you could kind of pull that down, but I want to show you how to do it with the character panel. So these are called layer thumbnails, this little rectangle here that has the T on it in the layer panel. If I double click on this, it's going to select my everything on that layer. So it selects all my text. Now I'm going to pull up my character panel. So I'm going to go Window, Character, and it pulls up my character panel, and this allows me to play with my text. So I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm going to stretch my text out, make it taller. I'm going to hit the check mark, then I'm going to grab the move tool, and I'm going to move it down a little bit. Okay. Now you don't want anything to go right to the edges of your magazine cover. Let me just show you our mock-up just so you can kind of get a reference again. So you want some negative spaces on the sides. Okay, so this side and this side, it never touches the edge. It never touches the top. The only thing it touches is the bottom. So just to take note of that. So you can choose whatever font that you want, and you can play around with the text until it's to your liking. I want to show you a couple more things. So we did the drop shadow, which we could do that for our text. We could add a drop shadow. Let me do a little bit of that. I'm going to do it more subtle. And then I also wanted to show you how to do an outline with text. So if we maybe just wanted to have an outline around our text, you can also do that down here with the FX also. So you would just go to stroke, and well, that's a huge outline, but you can adjust the size of it. And maybe I just want to do like a little white or a black. Ooh, I kind of like that. Let me see what black looks like. So you can kind of see how you can play around with it. Maybe gray. Gray's not bad. I think I like the white best, but you can kind of play around with it. Maybe I'll do like a light gray. I think I'll stick with the white. Okay. And then when you're satisfied with everything, you just click OK. And I do want to also show you there's some other stuff under the FX you could play around with that might be useful, especially for like the text, like bevel and emboss. There, that kind of looks like it's an inner bevel. It kind of looks like gold. I actually kind of like that. So you can play around with the depth. You can play around with the texture. I don't really like the texture, the contour of it. There you can emboss it. Ooh, that's a little crazy. You can do outer bevel. Ooh, pillow emboss, stroke emboss. There's a lot. Oh, that's kind of nice. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I think I'm gonna leave it on the stroke emboss and then click OK. All right, so we're done pretty good here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead and take care of the issue and date up at the top and the magazine deck. So I'm actually gonna add fashion magazine right here under where mine says style, and then up here I'm just gonna make up a volume, issue, and like a season. Okay, now when you reach the point when you're finished, you're gonna wanna flatten the image to put all the layers together. So that will make your image smaller. And that's gonna be under your layer menu. So up at the top, you're gonna go to layer, flatten image. Squishes it all together, and then you're going to go file, save as, and you can save it as a JPEG at this point.